Welcome to Waves Are Blue. Can you please introduce yourself?
How you guys doing? My name is Pythagore Antoine, owner of Pythagore's Goods and also Pythagore Consults.
So, where were you born and raised?
I was born in Haiti, moved there when I was 6 years old. Um, I lived in Flatbush, Brooklyn. That's where I was raised.
And how was it growing up in Brooklyn?
Man, growing up in Brooklyn around that time were very crazy. It was crazy 90s, you could say. There's a lot we went through. There's a lot of ups and downs, of course. You probably heard so much about it, but also it was a very stylish era as far as like Ralph Lauren and the polo era hits when it hit the more rural areas.
Like the low heads and
Exactly,
the
the low
collectors?
lives, yeah, the collectors.
Okay.
It started at, so it was very bright in that way, but it was dark times as far as like, the Brooklyn lifestyle was back in
Was
the
that
days.
around the Kanye West era as well?
The Kanye West era? Well, I don't know much about the Kanye West era because, unless you're talking about the early 2000s.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, well, at least to me, kind of faded because by that time I was out of high school already. But during high school, there was a lot of that. Saw a lot of low lives. I saw a lot of decepts, you could call them, also. And yeah, that's the era of the 90s I grew up in.
That's funny. So, I
Yeah.
love your outfit today, man. And
Yeah.
if you can please just kind of describe it, go into it a little bit.
Yeah, sure, man. So today I was just thinking hunters. This real cool pants I just got from Double RL, called the monkey pants, quote unquote. Um, have my brand Pythagore's Goods on, also the cap. Uh, this vintage inspired Double RL vest I got in 2016, I believe. And yeah, so I just wanted to have kind of a mechanic slash hunter look
I
today.
love the fade on the jacket.
Hmm.
You also have the mocks, the Red Wing boots. They look
Yes.
amazing, man.
Thank you, man. Appreciate that.
And the accessories and the classics. Great outfit today, man.
Thank you, man. Appreciate that.
So, how would you describe your style?
Um, so a lot of times I don't have a description for my style. Really, it's more freestyle. Maybe that's what I should call it. A lot of people gave me a bunch of titles like Layer King and vintage classic guy or classic man when I used to wear suits. But really, I just always have gone with how I felt, depending on the day. It's both for my culture, Haitian culture, and also Americana mixture. But it's really more freestyle. I don't really go with what else is doing. My style is literally style. It's not fashion, although fashion and style could go in the same category or similar categories. Yeah.
Gotcha. So, it's just more of a feeling, how you feel that day, and
Mhm.
just your own perspective on clothing, right?
Yes, it's literally that. Remember, this girl I dated mentioned she was like, the thing is, you just have a lot of stuff, and you just try to put them together every day. That's just what it is. That's what your style is. She try to be funny that trying to say I don't have style. I just have a ton of stuff,
That's
whatever
funny.
that means. But yeah, so
So, what would you say your favorite season is to get dressed in?
definitely winter time, man. That's when you get to wear your layers and get active, man. Get artsy. So I'll say that too. Like, sometimes I can still do it. That's where you get to wear all your different straw fedoras and lighter shirts. But I'll say winter for sure. That's where I get to wear my layers, show
Okay.
my art side for sure.
Do you happen to have a favorite color that you like wearing?
Ah man, for some reason I gravitate more towards the naturals. So I would say the browns, the greens would be more of my colors.
So, more earth tones.
More earth tones for sure. But I do pop of colors either way. Again, it's how I feel. It's a season, it's where I'm traveling to. So it all depends. Yep.
So, do you have a favorite boot or a favorite shoe that you tend to gravitate towards more to?
Oh man, I mean, my favorite boot of all time is the Red Wing, particularly the mocktails, for sure. I have some Rovers and Ranger boots, but the mock toes are like my top favorites, man. I have them in 8 inch, 4 inch. Yeah, I just gravitate with Red Wing towards Red Wing more too. So I own about 17 pairs now.
Oh wow,
So it's definitely like my go-to, especially during the winter time.
that's nice, man.
Yep.
Um, have you heard of the Alden boot and other brands? Do you ever look into other brands that you might appreciate from afar, but you might not wear on a daily?
Yeah. So the Eldon brand to me, they're actually a good brand. I never owned one. I've tried them on a few times. I think they look great with suits or yeah, for a more suited look. I feel they are well made. I mean, they're expensive boots too, so they're not cheaply made. But yeah, Red Wing is just like my go-to. It's just sometimes you just figure out what fits your closet, and I think Red Wing boot is
It's
like
like the
my top.
rugged versus the more sleek and put together look, right?
Exactly. I do admire. I do like to do a little bit of both, but yeah, the Red Wing would be my favorite boot or shoe, you would say, because I do use them. I wear them as a suit too. Yeah.
So what influences your style?
Definitely where I'm from, man. Like from when I was young, my grandmother and my mom, uh, they taught me the importance of dressing well every day and making sure your appearance matter and you think of your appearance, how you're gonna appear, how you're gonna look in front of people. My grandmom and my mom used to say, like, it's a Creole word, it's "Jean compare cause I see a photo." It's basically how you stand. First time a person see you, that's who they're gonna perceive you to be. So the first shot is like, okay, this guy is this or whatever. So they was taught me to have a first best impression, basically.
Do you ever get stopped on the street? And what are some things that people might say or
Yeah.
compliments or
Yeah, it happens quite often. I usually have my headphones on. Maybe it would happen more if I was more alert in that way. But yeah, usually people will say like, I love you put together, or they'll just say, they'll ask, am I an artist? Or they just say like, you're an artist for sure, you're a musician, right? And I'm like, nah, I just, like clothes. I like things that represent me. This is like my expression, basically. Yeah, it's my thing, you could say.
so there's this old age argument about style versus fashion, right? And I just wanted to get your perspective on what do you think style is compared to fashion and why you lean more towards the style end versus fashion.
Well, to me, style is always more personal. You could look at a person and you could tell like they put and create the outfits together rather than buying it off a magazine or watching it on Instagram or YouTube. You could often see the person who put thought into their outfit rather than choosing it off of a mannequin in the store or whatnot. I think style is more pointed. It speaks into your soul. It speaks your culture. It speaks your neighborhood. It speaks a whole bunch of things. Where fashion is short term. It's yearly based. A lot of it don't get carried on for seasons after season. Where style is kind of forever. You could buy a fringe jacket, and that could be your main look for a very long time, because a fringe jacket don't really go out of style. Some people may think it's old school, and when it comes back, it's new school again, or whatever they may think. And I guess that's the difference of fashion versus style, because once you're in style, it's forever. You'll be known in whatever town you're in as to being that stylish guy. Where the fashionable person, all they're doing is spending money on the yearly fashion and literally just dressing like the people from the mannequin. But style is like basically taking a piece or two from the fashion world, buying some stuff vintage, and just putting your own look together.
Something you can't purchase.
Something you can't purchase. You can't really buy it. I mean, look where it came from. Like the reason why you see like black folks, or should I say urban folks, were more stylish is because we didn't have the money to go and buy Gucci off the runway or Louis Vuitton. So what we did, we bought pieces after pieces, and we created our style. Added Adidas to it, added Dada, whatever was popular at the time, and that created style.
I agree 100% with you, man. What are some of the best places to shop in New York City?
Oh man, I'm a huge Ralph Lauren fan, particularly Double RL. So I'll say go down to Soho. I love Converse, Red Wings. So you'll find all these blended things in there too. Also, a buddy of mine who owns Brooklyn Circus. That's definitely a place to check out. He has a new store that opened up on Canal Street. But yeah, I'll say those, and of course, like my online shop, Pythagore Goods, if you guys want some vintage and even leather goods as well. Yeah.
So if you can go into a little bit about your relationship with Luigi, or just your thoughts on the Brooklyn Circus, and what it means to you. I know you got an opportunity to model for them.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I mean, me and Luigi are brothers, man. Like we're both Haitian, both stylish cats, very innovative type of personality. He's a cool guy. Brooklyn Circus is a beautiful idea because he gets to integrate the Haitian culture, Americana, and just things that we grew up with. Like I was saying earlier, like style is part of where you come from, and I think he's great at showing that year after year, time after time. And the modeling gig I did for him was a great opportunity. I think it was at the Apple store. I saw the inside work, how serious he is about his work, his prayer life, and just how much he put in the brand. He's really a good dude. He's a friend of mine. Yeah, we have kind of like a brotherhood going on. I think mainly because we're Haitian.
he's one of my style inspirations for sure. He's all about community.
Yep.
He's all about black and brown people and empowerment. So, and he's come a long way. So that's amazing that you have a friendship with him, and the 100-year plan, right?
The 100-year plan. That's one of the greatest thing ever, man.
And
He's really about
strong.
it. He's focused on it as well. Yeah.
And I hear you speak about your Haitian background a lot and your culture. If you can kind of dive in a little bit about that, and why being Haitian is so important to you, and you can go into the food, the lifestyle, family, just a background of your culture.
Yeah. I mean, man, I am Haitian first. Before anything, I am that. Of course, it's by way of Africa, but my culture means so much to me, man. Like, my pops, before he passed away, he would say stuff like, "Man, do you even eat our food anymore?" But little does he know, like, there's a hole in wall spot I go to on Nostrand Ave in Winthrop, and I've built sort of like a Haitian community there. It's these older Haitian cats who are very, very opinionated. They feed me back my culture all the time, talking about the woes of Haiti, the stuff that's going on now. Sometimes it takes a lot out of me because Haiti is really going through it. But yeah, I breed all of that, man. To me, part of my style is because I'm Haitian. We're taught to present ourselves, like, not just like the churchgoers, but even if we're going to a family event, or wherever, even back in the days when we would go to school, we're taught to wear shoes, because to them, wearing shoes is being proper and sharp, so we would look like the good guys. It's kind of like a shield that our parents thought would work due to the temperature of our society. So yeah, so like dressing well was always like something that my culture took seriously, and that's what went into my lifestyle as well. Excuse me. The food, I mean, I'm sure all you guys know of G.I. Jean. You know, it's like the best thing ever. We take pride in how we make food and how we clean our food and the type of foods that we eat. Some of it, honestly, not the most healthiest, but it comes from the richest part of us. Like, it's part of our culture in that way.
It's made with love, man.
It's made with love, exactly. Yeah, yeah.
But
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you, how was it meeting Jason Jules? And if you can give us some thoughts on the Black Ivy book.
Mm-hmm. Oh man, meeting him was amazing, man. He showed me real love. Like we would speak on DM and yeah, just like on Messenger as well. And it was always love from day one. Like man, I love what you're doing. I love your style, and he makes me feel like I'm a superhero, man. He has this is thing the way he speaks life into you, man. Like he speaking to when he was in the U.S. I think it's like 2 years now. That was just great. Meeting him for the first time in person was amazing. The book was super awesome. Myles Davis is one of my favorite artists
He was
in
on the cover,
person.
right?
Yeah, he was on the cover of the book, and I thought that was a great choice. Like him breaking down the how culture and style and fashion and black culture, style and fashion was amazing. It was great to get personally signed from him when he was part of the pop up in Manhattan. But yeah, man, just a great guy. It was great meeting him. To me, he's a superhero, but he made me feel like a superhero when he spoke life into me, man. He was like, man, I can't do the English accent too much. Like, man, you're just great, man. You're an awesome being. I was like, man, that was huge. It felt like I was speaking to, I don't know, Michael Jordan or Michael Jackson or something. But he's a great guy, very humble. Yeah, he's just about our culture and growth.
So, what artists are you listening to these days?
As far as music,
Yeah,
oh man,
music.
I'm all over the place, man. So 2 days ago, I recently listened to the new Schoolboy Q album. Uh, I'm a big Crit fan. Andre 3000, I do like the latest album. Tried to see him a few times live, but man, I'm all over the place because my playlist could go to a ratchet place when I'm working out. For some reason, the gym I need something to bump. But yeah, I'm all over the place, man. I listen to Haitian music. I have a place in my Apple Music section that's called Tunes, which is like all reggae music that I grew up with from the 90s. The Buju's, the Barrington Levy's, and all that stuff. But but then I go into the R&B from the 90s. So I'm really all over the place, you could say. But yeah, I'm a hip hop head for sure. Still like Black Thought, uh, Jay-Z, Nas's. I go back to Biggie all the time. Again, Andre 3000. I'm a big Kendrick fan. I think like he's one of the great artists of today. As far as new artists goes, the newest artists go, him, J. Cole, of course. But yeah, I'm all over the place, man. It's like my style. It's my feeling. It depends on the day, the season, and where I am. If I'm working out running, the vibe is different. As soon as I stop running, it could be something different I'm listening to too. A lot of Haitian music. A lot of people don't think I love my culture as much, but I do listen to a lot of Haitian music and stuff that I grew up with altogether. Yep.
So, any musician that you look to for style inspiration?
Oh yeah, man. Myles Davis is definitely one of them. That dude was like
Fly,
the
man.
fly. He was what you would like. He's black excellence. Visually. That's what black excellence is. Of course, he had the time where like his style changed. He went to the rock and roll type funky side, but I say him, definitely Andre 3000. Jimi Hendrix, me and a buddy of mine was talking about that earlier, how like, he went from like the Motown type of look and style music, and he just totally flipped it into this rocker, funky type of guy. But yeah, I would say those guys for sure. I grew up idolize. I don't really idolize anybody anymore, but like a person like Michael Jackson for sure. Um, yeah, you know, those was I would say be my main guys. I know like most people expect me to say Ralph Lauren. I do love his idea of what fashion style is and how he brings that to life. How it's literally from the everyday, not just like pointed. It's more lifestyle than anything. So I like him for that thing. But yeah, I would say those guys for sure. Andre, Myles Davis, um, Jimmy, yeah, would be like my top three as far as like inspiration for style.
Those are all great men,
Yeah.
and have great styles. So I can definitely see the influence there. Um, and I wanted to talk about your brand,
Hmm.
Pythagore Goods.
Yeah.
And first, I want to know what was the inspiration behind the name.
Hmm.
Also, your crew neck sweater that you're wearing now, the
Hmm.
inspiration behind that design,
Hmm.
and also the leather goods. So if you can kind of give us a background story on the name, how did you start the brand, where do
Hmm.
you see yourself in a couple of years with the brand,
Hmm.
and just give us an overview.
Excuse me. Well, uh, Pythagore's Goods came about, let's say like 2017, 2018. I said to myself, like, man, at the time I worked for WRL, I was like, man, if I put this much energy on creating something uh, from my ideas and from how I see life, you know, I could possibly make it the same way. So I thought about a name. Pythagore's Goods came to mind because one, my real name is Pythagore, and since it's more of a lifestyle brand, which I have more than just clothing, I'll put the goods behind it because it would just be clothing, the leather bags, or whatever I have coming in the future. So I chose the Watusi Bowl because I love the Watusi tribe, what they represent, but particularly I love the bull. Their cattle. It's just like to me they're like space, space animals, space bulls because they have very particular horns. Some very different. So that the art part to me came about with that too. Of course, there's more things I'm gonna go into as far as creating it. So I wanted to also be what I would wear. I think my style is very vintage based, so I chose very like uh, uh, washed T-shirts, trucker hats. I've done baseball caps type of stuff, and then I recently dive into leather goods. So I have trucker wallets. I have traveling bags and a bunch of cross bags as well. Um, you know, where I wanted to go, man, I wanted to be as versatile as a Ralph Lauren and a Brooklyn Circus brand. I wanted to be, uh, suits one day and then the dress down looks more lifestyle breakdowns for the other days. I want it to grow into itself though. Um, you know, there's something called brand identity. To me, I'm still looking and searching for it, but I do know it's lifestyle based, and my inspiration or those who came before me, and just stuff that I've seen and grown up with, for the most part. And this is where I want Pythagore's Goods to go.
And if you can share some of your favorite pieces that you have in your closet,
Mhm.
or just some of your favorite pieces that you ever owned, so you can go into that.
Oh man. So one of my favorite pieces is was, the cookie boot, Ralph Lauren. I got it the second time around because the very first time my mom was not trying to spend that much money on a boot for me. And also like have this long coat shearling that I own. Bought it from Double RL. That's my favorite piece because how warm it keeps me, and like the very wide lapels, and
The chocolate brown one?
yeah, the chocolate brown one. That's one of my favorite pieces, and I'm wearing one. I know I mentioned it earlier. This is one of them too. Yeah, it's like vintage inspired. It's like a shearling type of thing too. It's very warm vest that I actually wear every year, most times in the year as well too. And yeah, and another one is like this bag's more of a traveling bag, but it's from my brand. It's like my art art bag, I call it, but I keep all my stuff in it. So it's a roll up. It's made 100% leather and very comfortable to wear too.
That's
in
a
the color
beautiful
green.
color, by the way.
I really appreciate it, man. And this is actually a bag that I plan on recreating. It's actually an old school water bag, and a friend of mine added some handles to it. I shouldn't be showing it because people might steal the idea, but that's something I hope to create. And yeah, so these are some of my favorite pieces, man. Yeah, bro.
And I noticed you have some accessories on today. If you can kind of explain them, go into them a little bit. A couple
Oh, yeah.
of bracelets and rings.
So I'm not really a jewelry guy, but it's something I'm really pushing to get into. So this is actually my mother's ring, man. She passed away in 2015. Someone saw it, and it was like it's like an X and O, because it like goes around and there's X's in it. It just so shows what she was about. She really loved the kids, and yeah, so I wear this every single day. And also, I used to wear this only on vacation when I'm traveling, but I've been wearing it a lot lately. It's one of her bracelets too. Everyone have seen it, kind of love it because it's feminine and masculine at the same time too. And this ring is actually one of my buddies in Canada sent it to me. It has the Om, the first sound of creation in it. Yeah, so far those are the only stuff that I have, and I'm falling into the jewelry realm. It's part of art, and I think I'm gonna bring that also to Pythagore Goods in the future as well.
So when I first met you a couple years ago at the Double RL store in
Yep.
Brooklyn,
Yep.
I know you were a poet.
Oh yeah.
And you did a lot of poetry. I wanted to ask you if you were still writing.
So writing is something that I kind of slowed down on, man. But I am planning on writing a book. I'm gonna really try to get it out before 2025. But I'm really getting back into it. It's gonna be mostly all my old poems. I haven't recited anything in a very long time. I'm more of a writer than person who just flows and do spoken words. But yeah, it's something that I honestly kind of stepped away from. But it's something that I'm actually working my way back into. So I definitely have a book coming out. I'm starting work on it pretty soon. Just again, some of my old work that I'm gonna fix up and round up too. And so the title is going to be called A Theory and Theorem, which is kind of part of my creation, and Pythagore Goods to keep it around the mathematics of that. So yeah.
What got you into writing?
And I think writing was something that came natural to me. I remember, so I'm very competitive, right? Especially back in the days when someone told me that I can't do something, that's when I would aim to try to finish it. So I remember when I was in high school, one of my teachers asked us to write a poem, and I wrote one. It was quick, easy. I wasn't great at school, but you know, when you find your interest in something, you just do it. So when I brought it to her, she said I did not write it. You know, it's like she basically said I'm not smart enough to have put those words together. I don't know what she meant by it. But anyway, from then, it sparked something inside me, but at the same time, it died because I'm like, man, she just really killed my spirits in that way. I didn't really go back into poetry until uh, I met my girlfriend Q, and I used to write for her. You know, so yeah, that's how it began, and I continued for years and years. I used to write my pain away. You know, being on the train, never missing my stop. But as soon as I get on the train, I'll be on my phone or take a little note and just like start jotting stuff down. You know, so it was something that was part of my passion that I hope to bring back for sure. You know.
So how was it collaborating with Red Wings?
Oh, it was fun, man. It was a good. I think it was like 3 years worth. Um, Yeah, I was one of their ambassadors. I was really a style guy where everybody else had actually professions. Like I had this, there was this camera guy, there was a electrician, there's a motorcycle guy, like he's a mechanic, motorcycle mechanic. But I was the only style guy. Yeah, it was awesome, man. You know, I just had to send pictures to them whenever I would get a new boot and kind of speak about the Red Wing. They kind of wanted it to be introduced to, you know, to people other than the working force, people that actually use it for work. But yeah, man, it was actually a fun thing. It was very cool. They gave
I
me some
saw
real
you
cool.
did a
Yeah.
photo shoot with the Land Rover.
hmm
So that was an awesome photo shoot.
Yeah, that was for a watch brand. I think it's called was it? I forget the name of it. No Shift or something. Yeah, it was actually for a watch brand, but I did we used the Bronco. That's what you use. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm
yeah, yeah,
sorry, yeah, the
yeah,
Bronco.
yeah. That was so cool. Yeah, with the Bronco truck, which is one of my favorite trucks, man. It's you know it's one of the stuff that I add to my brand because I like how um, you know it's like a very vintage, cool drop top truck. Like that's cool, man. Like Ford did a great job by creating the Bronco. I've seen the remakes. They're not as cool to me. They're still in the cool route, but yeah, I did the stuff with the Broncos, and I actually added the Red Wing boots to them, too. Yep.
Yeah. Well, congratulations on that.
Thank you,
That
man.
was an amazing collab that you guys did together.
Yeah, it was awesome, man.
So there's a lot of men or young men growing up and they're trying to find their style.
hmm
What is some advice or guidance that you would give a man just trying to find themselves in clothing?
Oh man, so I also style folks, right? I have a consultant side to my business. It's still under Pythagore Goods. And you know, one of the advice I give men is to not be afraid to spend money. Now, I'm not telling you to overspend and buy things for $1 million or whatnot, but I feel like a lot of men they like to do the quick thing where they buy a very simple shoe when they have a wedding to go to, or you know, unfortunate death or whatnot. I think it's important that you spend at least I don't know, $300 to $400 on a good shoe that will last you maybe like five of those weddings. And you know, I also always tell men to you know have their go-to. Like if you know weddings are part of the thing, job interviews or a thing as well. Always be ready for those days. You know, by like you know buying your staples like navy blue suit, a black suit, maybe a tux one day. Treat yourself, you know, because you know how much you could probably spend 3,000 in a year of something that will last you. Excuse me, something that'll last you probably 4, 5, 6 years if you take care of it. So you should think. I inspire men to think of that too. And also as far as like style goes, just do your thing. just make sure it's more quality filled. And again, it's not about the money spent. It's more like picking stuff that will last rather than picking the quick, cheap stuff. So yeah. So I push men to do their thing while like buying more quality pieces that will last them. It speaks, and it's long lasting. We want the longevity. Yeah.
What are some brands growing up that you wore or just appreciated on other people, whether it be through art, music, family, friends? Just like if you can go back and think about that time growing up as a teenager in New York City, what were people wearing? What were some pieces that excited you? And just kind of an overview, if you can capsulize that time.
Oh man, there was so much, man. Like growing up, Ralph Lauren was very natural to me, but I had the Mecca, I had the cross colors. I even had Fat Form. I remember like it was my junior year of high school or whatnot. I basically did everything around that time too, the Timberland boots and whatnot. So as a kid, like you would have to, especially if being from Brooklyn, you have to like stay fly, whatever that mean at the time too. Style and fashion was very hip hop back then, especially growing up in Brooklyn. We supported black brands without even thinking at the time because Mecca, Fubu, and all these brands were very popular and made like very hip hop and like football influenced, soccer influenced in their own way. So I was big in that too. I even got into Nietzsche for a little while, but again it was always Ralph Lauren to me. And yeah, Tim's and Carhartt. I remember growing up. It was a special time, man. Again, like we supported black brands without even thinking of them being a black brand. We just support fly stuff at the time. It was very important times to me, man. I remember my first real suit was oversized as well. Speaking of oversized, it's funny how like fashion is, and style just comes right back, because I see oversized jeans or a thing now too. I see these kids buying up old dead stock stuff of stuff that I grew up with, like older Visu jeans and Parasucos and all that stuff. I see all those things are coming back, and you know, um, it's one of those things that's more fashion than style, but I could appreciate seeing it because that's where I came from. It's kind of like a down memory lane type of thing. So, yeah.
What are some shops in Brooklyn growing up that you would shop at?
Mm, yeah. Oh man, yeah, I remember VIM. That was like one of the shops that was a go-to. There was Pulse, it was a shop that was mainly in malls. There was actually one I think in Soho at the time. Um, Man, those are the ones that came to mind at the moment. Oh, well, there was Vinny's. That was a staple in New York for a while. They
I
had
remember Vinny's.
yeah, Vinny's was pretty
A lot
big. They
of
had the
artists used to shop there.
exactly, yeah, like they were known for the Brooklyn shirts and uh, just being creative and very strong and into the fashion world at the time. So yeah, again, like the '90s was a special time. '90s, early 2000s, even like late '80s was a special time in fashion and hip hop. And yeah, like VIM and Pulse would be the stores that I remember going to, buying little Coogis here, iceberg sweaters, and yeah, man, those were great times to me. I was just learning fashion, and of course, my mom, it couldn't afford everything that I asked for, but you know, I'd work or earn my allowance to gather money to get some stuff back then.
Do you think your style would ever change?
If my style would change, I don't think so. When I buy pieces, I say, man, I'm gonna have this till I'm 90. Like one of them being that Shearling coat. I said to myself, man, it's gonna have some wears and tears. That's exactly what I want. I'll patch them up. Um, I feel like, when you get older, you just make more money or you just get better with money. I feel like my taste as far as cars will probably change. I'm always I'm always into vintage cars, but I know for a fact I'm gonna go into the classic world once the money start connecting more. So probably like, old Porsches, definitely some Broncos in my future. But to me, those things are part of style, lifestyle. Um, so as far as like my style, I don't think it would change unless I get a corporate job. I wear more suits. But then again, I've done that before, and I still have a lot of suits and stuff. But when I make purchases, I purchase it for a long time. Which is why I choose quality over quantity. Although I have quantity as well. But yeah, so I think I'm gonna be Pythagore and Pythagore's Goods and myself for a very long time. You know.
So, what are some social media accounts that inspire you?
Man, I have a ton, man. One of my buddies, Steve, and I went to his book signing a few weeks ago, and I just like the way he sees life, photography, and yeah, he's definitely a talent. I remember one of his photographers was talking about how he likes to redo things until his vision is until like his vision is right in front of us, and I get really inspired by that. His name is Stephen Onoja. Also, I would say you know Jason Andrews. He's not really like a social media guy. Like he doesn't post that much about style, but he's very like pointed, I would say. A person like Denny 623. He's
From
awesome.
Jersey City,
From
right?
Jersey City, like yeah, he's
Yeah, I like
awesome.
Danny stuff.
Yeah, he has natural style, you would call. Like he's one of those people that whatever he wears would look good on him. So Ellie Soul is another one. Like the Ellie Soul oh 01 is his page. I like his simple style, simple but very like curated as well. Um, Man, I mean, Jason Jules, of course. Like, I've been following from day one. It was an honor for him to even follow me back. I remember when it happened. I was like, oh, shoot, all right, cool. He's one of those dudes that followed me back, one of many that followed me back. And I was just like, yeah, I admire
I love his
his
stuff,
taste. Yeah,
man.
oh, no, he's awesome, man.
The
Like,
things he did with Drake's,
yeah, with Drake's for a
just
while. Yeah,
his poses from
yeah.
the colors.
Yeah, he's a classic guy, man. Very classic. I think he helped out the Drake brand a lot, actually. They should have made him kind of the face, I feel, if he's not the face already. He did some stuff with Ralph Lauren recently. That was amazing to see. But yeah, those guys inspire me every day. Flamekeeper's Hat Club, that's it's very tasteful. He shows men fashion, or he shows men how to be stylish on an everyday basis, like hats being part of your wardrobe, your everyday. Of course, Brooklyn Circus we mentioned earlier, but yeah, man, those are the main people that kind of inspire me. Um, I watch a lot of like art pages too, so I'm very much into paintings. One of my friends, particularly, Pale NYC, you should follow him. His vision is very clear and awesome. But yeah, man, those are the pages I would say that inspire me for the most part. You know, some of them are my buddies, and some of them I just admire from afar. You know.
So I know you wear a lot of Ralph Lauren,
Hmm.
and your favorite sub brand of the company is Double RL.
Yeah.
And what do you like about Double RL?
So for a while, I was into, polo, the regular Ralph Lauren, for a while because that's what I knew. But I remember when I fell into Double RL, I was like, "Yo, what is this?" I came to the shop, and it's like my taste level literally went do. It's literally like stuff that I knew already too. Like I love vintage. There's vintage pieces do something to me. I was always into vintage cars and vintage rugs and vintage sofas. But me going to a place where everything that I like is right in front of me at once. Never happened before, you know. So when I visited a Double RL store, you know, I was just speechless for the first time. You know, I remember looking at the tags. I'm like, oh, this is pretty expensive. So at the time, I couldn't afford it at all. It's very expensive pieces, but it's for a reason. It's very well made stuff. But you know, I remember working there in 2016 to 2017, and yeah, man, I kind of became an addict for it. It's just how clothes are made well, the double stitched, you know, just how they have the perfect fade on a jacket, and how they've mastered the vintage uh, style like to a T. Like it's literally a lifestyle brand. That's a lifestyle part that I love about the Ralph Lauren brand. So Double RL is one of my favorites because of that. Like it's literally like falling into something that was meant for you. You know, it's like meeting the girl that's for you. You know, if I'm not pushing it too far. But yeah, it's my favorite brand. It just feels like home to me. Even the suiting, the way the lapels are shaped, they have more of a old school thing going. The way like they still have some vintage pieces, but also they make vintage like stuff that are almost, you know, you can't even tell the difference. You know, they got the patinas like to a T. And so I think that's why I just fell in love with it. To me, it's more than just wearing Double RL. I don't, like, in all honesty, I don't wear Double RL just to say I wear Double RL. It's more like, man, this is dope. This is a dope piece. You know, like if I could, if it has a tag, if I could take off the tag, I will take it off. Because it's just a matter of like how things are made and quality pieces too. You know, I remember for the most part, people that don't know much about Double RL think I just shop vintage, you know, but when they find out what it is, for some reason, like they look at me different, like, oh my God, you wear Double RL. It's for a particular type of guy and whatnot too. But to me, yes, that is true. But to me, wearing Double RL is more because I like how it's made and what it kind of represents and how it makes me feel personally.
From the newsboy caps to the scarves
Oh man.
to the suspenders. I see you're a fan of the suspenders
Yeah, man.
over the crew neck sweaters, which looks amazing, by the way.
Yeah, yeah. Actually, with these pants, I just got them. I'm wearing with a belt, but I'm definitely gonna put buttons to add my suspenders into it too. Yeah. So Double RL, it you know, to me they make the perfect suspenders, a perfect size. You know, like growing up, I've worn suspenders, but they were thin. Some of them were the clip-ons. This is before I knew better, of course. So when I saw the suspenders that Double RL made, you know, I went crazy for them. As far as the hats and the stuff that they collaborated with Harris Street in, I was always into that. But suspenders and like the
The bandanas
accessories,
under the shirts,
yeah,
which I
yeah,
love.
yeah, that I always done too. But you know, like I got to know more about bandanas and faded and the washes more when I went to Double RL too. Like one of my friends mentioned to me, he was like, "You were always that Double RL guy. You just didn't shop at Double RL yet." So I used to again buy vintage stuff, but also like places like J. Crew, you could find Double RL stuff more
The Wallace and
affordable. Yeah,
Barnes
yeah.
label.
Wallace and Barnes label, they perfected that. You know, they're a great brand to look at. I mean, there's so many brands now, but back in the days, yeah, I would buy like, you know, the J. Crew bandanas or vintage bandanas that one of my buddies just sent to me from Canada. You know, his page is called P Wing. If you guys want to follow that too. You know, he's more of a vintage collector, but a big Ralph Lauren guy as well. Like he grew up in the polo life, you know, but Canada version of it. But yeah, man. So Double RL is my favorite out of all the Ralph Lauren stuff. I know people miss the rugby part, which is like, you know, was a special part of Ralph Lauren, but yeah.
What are some things that people can expect from Pythagore in the near future?
Oh, you know, just everything that I've started for me to continue to grow it. So this means my brand, Pythagore Goods in particularly. Uh, you know, I wanted to develop into what it's supposed to be. You know, I feel it becoming something bigger than I imagined. So Pythagore Goods, if you want to follow, is Pythagores and Goods, Myles. And also I have a consulting page too for the folks who want to get styled by me or who just need help upgrading themselves, fixing their closets and whatnot. And that's Pythagore Consults. So it's Pythagore, was it underscore consults. That's both my Instagram accounts. But yeah, just expect to watch my brand grow and me myself grow into my full self in every way possible too, and also developing or bringing back the poet side of me as well, like he brought up, like our main man brought up earlier. And yeah, so please follow me.
So we can get a breakdown of your outfit, starting from the shoes all the way up to the hat, please.
Sure. So these are the Red Wing mocktails, army green, one of my favorites. I've been wearing them for like a month straight now, but definitely one of my favorites. It's one of those things that you just keep wearing and beat up, you know. The pants are from WRL. Did a monkey pants, one of the newest ones out. Like I said earlier, I'll put suspenders on them, but I'm wearing one of my vintage belts for one of my guys in Canada. But yeah, and this is one of the sweatshirts from my brand, Pythagore Goods. You know, it's a 14-ounce sweatshirt, very heavy and strong. One of my favorite vests from WRL, vintage inspired. Also the shirt from probably 2017, WRL, and this one probably from 2018, and WRL, and of course Pythagore Goods trucker. All pieces available now too. Old WRL scarf, the two side kind of goes with my pants. I didn't mean to do that, but it worked out. But my artist bag that I carry around most times, it's pretty heavy. I have a leather jacket and some notes in the back, bottom of it. And also this piece is an old World War II water bag that one of my friends added handles to, you know. But yeah, so this is my outfit. I like flipping it every day. I don't wear the same type of style or looks every day, but today this is the look I put together.
If you can leave a message to the world, what would it be?
Oh man, I would say just know the importance of being kind every day, to being good to people, while being yourself. I think if you could master all those things, your greatest self will become present. You know, so I'll say kindness. Practice kindness every day. Practice being thoughtful every day. Practice personal growth every day. And I feel like once you've learned to master those things, everything else will come together. And that's like emotion based, being overly emotional, being angry and all those things. So I'll say like kindness, yeah, being kind and being yourself, super important.